All right. Hello, everybody. I started and didn't know that I really wasn't starting. So here we are. I'm back. And today I'm live streaming. And thank you for coming today for today's and this week's Tuesday Tip at 2. It is me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your up and coming queen of real estate. And I need you guys to go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that other stuff. With this ever changing technology and social media, especially YouTube, the algorithm favors interaction, right? Favors people liking and commenting and doing all those good things. So if you could do that for me, that'd be great. I comment back. People ask questions. At the very least, I'm a hearted. So I appreciate that support in that way. Now, listen, before we even get started, I'm a Philly, PA licensed realtor. I service Philadelphia, Delaware County, Montgomery County. And if you need to sell or buy in any of those areas, you can go right down there. Book.djmrealtyco.com. Book.djmrealtyco.com and schedule your buyer or seller consultation. So we're going to move right into and continuing the series on myth busters, real estate myth busters. Okay. So I've been talking about just different real estate myths that are out there and assumptions and assertions. And today we're going to be talking about, can you time the real estate market? Now, of course, as we know, over the past few years, it has been very interesting in the real estate market because there have been low interest rates, historic low interest rates, as well as in recent history, some hiking of interest rates. Now, the good thing is that over the past, I think, week or so, week and a half, interest rates from day to day have been going down. And so that's fantastic. So really the question is, can you really time the real estate market? What does it look like? What does it look like to do any of that, right? And really, a lot of times on the buyer side, it's like, hey, I'm gonna just wait to buy my house because interest rates are going up, and I'm concerned. I'm this, I'm that, and I'm gonna wait till they go down. Okay, there's that. And then on the flip side, you have sellers who are like, hey, I'm going to wait until whatever to some, which in a seller's market like this, you don't want to wait. Or even some investors are like, hey, I'm going to wait until blah, 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 blah. Really, there now a lot of times people will use data to determine what the real estate market is going to do, and I don't discount that. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are more accurate and are just great economists and experts, and can determine those things, and that's fantastic. But when you are just a regular person like me, because even I am not the best at timing the real estate market, because at the end of the day, we don't know what it may do. Just like we don't know what the interest rates are going to do. Now, there are clues based on data, based on moving parts, if you will, that can be great indicators of what will happen in the next 3 months, the next 6 months. But for the most part, when you're talking about real estate and waiting it out, some people are like, hey, I'm not going to sell now because I could get even more in 6 months, or I can get, or just all these different factors and reasons why people will wait. And at the end of the day, especially as it pertains to buyers, I'm going to talk about the buyer side. So a lot of the complaint is, hey, interest rates are going up. Am I getting the best deal? And really, we are still lower than it has been in times past. There are people who have got in times past, our parents, our grandparents may have paid 12% interest rates, 8% interest rates. So you have to keep that into consideration. So it's still lower than that. And that's why when it went down to 1 and 2%, it was a historic low because that hadn't happened in times past. It has never been that low, right? So you have to keep that factor in mind. And here's the thing: if you buy a house, if you can afford a house, even with interest rates going up, and afford an area that you like, afford a home that you like and will feel comfortable in, then you should still continue to look for that house. And what you need to do is make sure that you lock in your interest rates, right? So you want to lock it in. Now, some lenders will allow you when you get pre-approved to lock in that interest rate. Um, but definitely when you go under contract, you want to have your lender lock in that interest rate. And I would suggest that for you to have them lock it in beyond even 30 days, right? Because even though, so sometimes what lenders will do, they'll lock in a rate and they'll lock it in up to your closing date. But as I always express, sometimes bumps can happen. You never know. You may need to push back the closing date a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks, right? So what I would say is if you're going to lock in your rate after you go under contract, to lock it in longer than your closing date. So have it, instead of it being 30 days, have it be 60 days, and it's a just in case, or even if 45 days. Now you do pay for your rate to be locked in, but in this market and how interest rates are going, they're kind of going up, they're going down, you never know, right? So sometimes if you want to sometimes that is the best bet if you're in a situation where, hey, I'm concerned, I really don't want this interest rate to go more than where it is, or it may push me out of my preferred area, or even if it's not pushing you out the area, it's pushing you out the range of the houses that you would prefer to live in and acquire. So just lock in that rate. Okay. So that's one thing. And you always want to recognize as well that, hey, if you buy a house, you are able to land something and interest rates go down to 1%, well, 2%, 3%, that will provide you the opportunity to refinance. So that's always an option as well. You can always refinance. You can always refinance your home and do a less mortgage payment, which is always a great opportunity. Guess what people did when the interest rate went to those historic lows? Refinance. People who are like, I don't want to move, right? But I definitely want to get a better interest rate because maybe I bought my house and my interest rate was 6% or 7% or 8% or 10% or even just 5%, right? And I'm able to get 2% interest rate, that's fantastic. Save a couple dollars. So you always want to look at it from the standpoint of, okay, so even if things change, what we definitely know is that 9 times out of 10, home prices are going to continue to go up, right? We don't know what the market is necessarily going to do at any given time, but we definitely know that most times, most likely, real estate appreciates. I said it right. I didn't mean to rhyme, but real estate appreciates, right? So what you don't want to do is wait. And then all of a sudden, not only have interest rates going up, but housing prices have gone up, and it's making it even harder for you to be able to find and secure a home, right? Um, so the whole, waiting it out thing, just because you're trying to wait for the market. Now, if you're waiting it out because of your own personal situation or circumstances, that's one thing. But waiting it out solely because of what the market is doing and stuff like that. I know plenty of people, buyers, because we're talking about buyers, who waited, who was like, no, I'm not, I'm gonna wait it out. And maybe had a tight budget, particularly for the area that they wanted. And it did not turn out well for them. Did not turn out well. So you definitely want to always look at it from the standpoint of, hey, interest rates may fluctuate, may do what they do. Right now, they're kind of staying at that 5 something, even though it's kind of dipping down and being lower. But we always have to understand that real estate is going to go up or even kind of even out. It might even out, but it's definitely going to go up. As sellers, at the end of the day, it is still a seller's market. The inventory is still low. So for you, you don't necessarily have to wait. Don't necessarily have to wait. If you're looking to buy somewhere else, you have to come from the buyer standpoint and look at it that way. So, time in the market, I don't know how beneficial it is if you are, again, a regular person. And even if you're an investor, right? Um, an investor, when prices are low, buy up everything. An investor, when prices are, things are the properties that maybe cost X amount of dollars a couple of years ago is a lot higher. Yes, that is the case, but there's always a deal to be made, right? It's just that there are more deals to be made when prices are super low. So that's really the perspective to have, right? So it's always a time to buy. It's just a lot of times there are even better times to buy. So, but if you're looking at it from a standpoint of hot potato or trying to play double dutch, then you may potentially miss out on some great opportunities. That's right underneath your nose. Okay. So focus on what is beneficial to you. Focus on what's important to you. If you don't necessarily have to move, if you're comfortable where you're at, then that's a personal decision, but don't base it on, oh my goodness, let me try to wait it out. Let me try to predict what the market is going to do. It's more so about doing what's best for you in that moment. Okay. So I hope that's helpful to you. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you're interested in buying or selling, I need you to go down here to book.djmrealty.com and schedule that consultation. But we'll talk. If you're trying to sell, we'll do a listing appointment. We'll schedule time for that. If you're a buyer, we'll have an introductory conversation about kind of where you are, how can I help, where you trying to move, all that good stuff. Thank you guys. Remember, there's no place like home, no place like home buying. Listen, next week, I'm going to tell you right now, you'll probably get a replay because I'll be on vacation. So I'm excited about that. So you'll probably get a replay for Tuesday Tip at 2. If it's not a replay, if I'm able to squeeze in something that's pre-recorded, then I'll do that. But otherwise, it'll be a replay. All right. Bye.